Just a quick one on condoms. So you have this condom and you put it inside, yeah? Then what about the surfaces that the condom does not cover? That the skin will come skin to skin and touch each person. Because when you get used to the circle of moving from one relationship to another, you kind of like lose the ability of connecting and forming deeper emotional and long-lasting relationships. Oh yeah, you receive a ma, and then before you know it, and then now you ask yourself, oh my days, unplanned pregnancy, what do I do? So from one night stand to unplanned pregnancy, we just say hookups. Does it happen? And sometimes when we say, oh, it happens other side, doesn't happen in the church, don't fool yourself. It is actively happening. Right. Okay, I'm just going to sip this one and then I'll bring you back to our conversation. Tastes really nice. Wow. It is really nice, like you're having a moment with your hookup guy. The person you just met for the first time, you didn't have any committed relationship with, but then you have sexual intimacy. Just think of the thrill, the pleasure, and the satisfaction, and you're done. You part ways. It's normal. Or are you surprised about that? Not really. So today, I want to talk about the thrills and ills of Christian hookups. What is hookup? I'm glad you asked. So basically, hookup can mean so many things for so many people. But for this conversation, I want to be as non-judgmental as much as I can to just give you the fact and allow you to make an informed choice, guided by principles and guided by maybe biblical experiences or the culture that you belong to. So hookup for so many people will just basically simply define it as a sexual relationship that you have with someone, a stranger, who you are not in a committed relationship with. It can be like you go to maybe a pub or a social event and you and this guy or you and this lady just click and you met and you had a moment, you had sex, and then you part ways. Why would someone want to do something like this when clearly there are highs and lows? I mean, maybe it offers temporary satisfaction and then the risk is too much, or maybe the risk is minimum and so they dare to step out. Well, it's good that we know. Like I said, I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to offer the fact from people's perspective and why they do what they do and what the highs and the lows. Some of the things that people will tell you why they do hookups is they want to explore. They just want to discover the thrill that they will have with someone that they are not in a committed relationship with. They're saying that, okay, I'm meeting this guy, we don't know ourselves, but then we are connecting sexually. So I want to explore and see how far I can go with this. Maybe I have a desire that I cannot share with my partner, but this one, we are strangers and we're not committed anyway. We part ways and everybody go their way. So I want to explore this part of my sexuality that I've never experienced before. So there is no pressure because it's not a committed relationship. I'm not pressured to perform to the best of my ability. I can just be me and do my thing, have the pleasure, the satisfaction, and we'll say goodbye to each other. So some people engage in that because they think it's a way to explore other areas of their sexual thingy that they have not had opportunity to do in a committed relationship. And some people just think like, wow, the pleasure that this thing brings, the rush of adrenaline, I mean the emotions and everything is something that I kind of like. I lack this thing when I'm doing it with my partner that I'm in a committed relationship with, but with this excitement of going into this, knowing that the pleasure, the rush and the feeling and everything leave me really satisfied. So I want to do it. So I can just go to a place and just get this thing with the stranger, and then we part our ways. It brings physical satisfaction for people who may not be in a committed relationship, but yet they want to have sexual intimacy with someone, and the hormones are acting up. You know, women, you know how the hormones act up, yeah? You understand that thing, yeah? When everything is, I don't know, let me just stop there and allow you to imagine it. I'm talking from a woman's perspective, so I don't know what men feel like. Maybe I'll ask that you kindly send in your comment, a comment on how you feel. So I cannot go too much about it because I'm not a man, I'm a lady, yeah. And so this lady is not in a relationship, like they don't have a stable relationship, but then they want to have sex and they say like, I can meet a stranger, I have this thing and I'm done with it and I go. So people do that and they enjoy it because it gives them the freedom. They are not committed. The expectation is not as high as in a committed relationship. So they do that. Yeah, relationship, sorry. Some people, they say they're stressed out. They've had issues, a catalog of issues that they had to deal with, and they're so stressed out. They had enough, and they just want to step out of the stress, go to this place where potentially they will have the opportunity to meet a stranger who also may be longing for an intimate relationship, but not in a committed relationship, and then they can both meet, relieve their stress, and do their thing, be intimate. Sigh of relief, and then they part ways. So people take that seriously, that I don't have any other means of relieving my stress, and I've adopted this hookup thingy, and it's okay. So what we're talking about here is not only something that happened outside of, okay, we can say it's a worldly thing, but these are things that are happening even within the body of Christ, Christians. You and I, if we're honest with each other, we know, like, there are a lot of hookups when you go to youth camps and youth camporees, and when you go to excursion, when you go to, like, maybe you have the choir or the singing band or singing groups, whatever it is that you have. You go on a long journey and you have to do a sleepover, and somebody else has their relationship and you don't have, and there's this single guy with a single chorister, or there's this single youth with a single youth. You know it happens, yeah? The thrill. But there are ills, and this is what we're talking about. Some people say it gives me freedom. Freedom because I'm in charge of my body. Nobody dictates to me what I should do and how I should do it, when I should do it. I am in charge, and so I can do it. So the freedom that it gives is what they seek for. The freedom to do when they want to do it, how they want to do it, with whom they want to do it, where they want to do it. It can be in a car. It can be on the roadside. It can be in the swimming pool. I don't know. It can be anywhere. And they have this freedom because they always fantasize that I've never had sex in a swimming pool. How does it feel like if I'm going to have sex in a swimming pool? Or I've never had sex in a car. Or how do I, people do that. And they say they offer them freedom, flexibility. I mean, I need to pursue other relationships. So I've had this. I don't think me and this person really gel. Sexually, we are not compatible. That was an awful experience now. Let me try another one. But for people who are in a committed relationship, now that flexibility is not really there, is it? Because you may be cheating on your partner and they don't want to be called a cheat. So they offer this, they choose this, they opt out for this one, that they are flexible. If I'm not compatible, I keep going until I find someone that I'm compatible with. Yeah. Other people also do that as a social connection, as a way to connect socially. Okay, say you move from one city to another and you barely know the place, and you go to maybe a social gathering where you meet this person, and then you hook up, you have sex. It can lead to maybe 2 or 3 more night stands, and then they get to show you around, they get to show you the ropes around, and you feel comfortable. So some people, that's the best way that they adopt to connect socially when they move into a new location, a new country, or new environment. Yeah, they do that, And like we said, of course, it replaces the boredom, it replaces some of the stress, it releases them, it gives them a deeper connection. And some people, I kid you not, take hookup as a practice session for the real intimacy that they will have with their partners. Like me, I don't know what to do. What does it mean to kiss passionately? I have no idea. What does it mean to do this, to do that. I'm like, let me do hookup. Try and fail, try and fail. And then I master this art. And then I settle down in a relationship. And then I can offer all of this to this one person because like I've got all the skills matched together. Now I'm good to go. I am the go-to person. I'm really good at what I do because of my exposure and my experience. Some people do that. Remember, I'm talking about the thrills and the ills of Christian hookup. At this time, I think I need to pause and just get my grapes because I've given you guys so much. Wow, oh boy. I want you to enjoy it while I eat my grapes. It's really nice. It's yummy. I trust. Oh my days. This thing is nice. It's really nice. I wish you were here. I can share with you, but I can only talk about it. Maybe some of you, that's what the pleasure you have and you do all the sounds. Anyway, back to our topic. I love that. Back to our topic. This is just the advantage that people talk about, yeah? But what are the disadvantages? What are the ills? What are the ills? So emotionally, there's a risk there. Because when you get used to the circle of moving from one relationship to another, you kind of like lose the ability of connecting and forming deeper emotional and long-lasting relationships. And I see people who have been in this for a long time and they meet this right person, they're really connecting, they're clicking and say, no, I'm going to stop. Automatically, they think they can, but they won't because they have lost this ability. They need to relearn again of building an emotional connection in a long-lasting relationship because that they didn't have when they were doing this ones. So that's the downside of it. And the other downside of it is that the expectations can be so high, really expecting something amazing, and then you find out that really your expectations were not met. Your expectations were not met. And some will develop this guilt and this feeling of shame and disappointment and frustration. So they have this regret because of the unmet need. They regret ever having to have that intimacy with a stranger who they are not in a committed relationship with. And especially if you're coming from a Christian background, whatever faith you're coming from, now you're asking yourself, why did I really do this? I'm feeling so disappointed with myself. What happened? How did I get here? So there is a regret part, and sometimes if care is not taken, those regrets can spiral out of control to something really deep that you might need a professional help with. It creates anxiety. Anxiety and depression. It affects your physiological well-being. Why? Studies have linked that casual sex, including the hookups, increase the rate of anxiety and depression in some individuals. Because the thing is that in as much as you enjoy that moment, there's something inside of you that is really looking for love. And you can come out of that amazing sex and still feel a void that cannot be filled by that experience. So the more you do it, the more it leaves you emptying. It affects your self-esteem, saying like, I don't think I deserve anything good. I'm just going to settle. This is how I'm going to settle. And there's a risk of sexually transmitted infections. Now, this is where I pause, I need to have a drink. Because people think that when they use a condom, they are protected. And it's amazing how people can risk their life. So, there's a quick one on condoms. So you have this condom and you put it inside, yeah? Then what about the surfaces that the condom does not cover? That the skin will come skin to skin and touch each person. If the person has any infection, like other things that are, them place. Let me just say them place. And your skin is touching. Of course, there's a possibility of that being transferred. So when people say, oh, I use a condom and I'm safe, I'm like, yeah, you have no idea what you're doing. Because you just cover one part that is safe, the other part is exposed, and there is a high risk there. So the risk of sexually transmitted infections is very high. And then we also have unplanned pregnancies. Yeah, unplanned pregnancies, you know them stuff. You get carried away, especially if the one night stand leads to a second night stand and the guy is really good, yeah. So you relax, and if it's the time for your hormones and they're acting up and your body's craving for all the pleasure, oh yeah, you receive a ma, and then before you know it, and then now you ask yourself, oh my days, unplanned pregnancy, what do I do? So from a one night stand to unplanned pregnancy, and maybe decide to keep it, or decide to abort it, and you have this guilt, and then you have this shame, and then you have this regret, and you go through a vicious cycle. I mean, just imagine, it's a whole lot to deal with. Of course, we talk about difficulty forming deeper connections. For the fact that you spend time doing all of this, sleeping around, and become like a tapestry now, yeah, all dotted, and now forming deeper connections with people in a good relationship is a challenge. And some people, it's power dynamics. I'm in charge, you know. I'm in charge. I can use this power, and I can use this to get whatever I want to. Who are you to tell me what to do? So these are just some of the things that I want us to look at and talk about, because we just say hookups. Does it happen? And sometimes when we say, oh, it happens on the other side, it doesn't happen in the church, don't fool yourself. It is actively happening. If you have gone to a youth camp, you know it's happening. If you're going to camporee, you know it's happening. You're going with your singing group and other groups and all religious gatherings, even camp meetings, man, it is happening, I'm telling you. So don't fool yourself and delude yourself that it doesn't happen. There are thrills and there are ills, and how do we deal with this thing? So if you are in a situation where you are struggling, I mean, I think you need to find someone that you trust and have an open conversation that this is my struggle. And some people, don't get me wrong, they are trafficked. They don't have freedom with their body. They are forced to do these things. And you need to also sympathize with the fact that this is something that someone is being forced to do all the time, and they become used to it. Even when they are no longer under that person who trafficked them, it's a lifestyle. And so they need time, they need professional help. So having a conversation about it is the beginning. And second, having a trusted person and having accountability partner and seeking professional help. That is, if you want to stop, is also good. For those who are still there, yeah, they're talking about, maybe you think of ways of safer sex practices. Look at yourself, reflect and say, is this what I live for? Is there something that is bigger, that is better, that I can do, that can move me from where I am? I need to seek support. I need support because I cannot continue to do it. It comes with a lot of things. So I just want to say, having this conversation, to stir up this conversation, say it ripples through among the young people in churches, among the adults in churches, among parents in churches. So this is where now we have age-appropriate sex education for children, and this is also where we have to teach the young people about appropriate relationships, age-appropriate relationship. This is also where, in our spirits, we also create that environment that our kids can trust us and talk to us about these things, or someone else will take advantage of him. You know, those praying eyes in church, they look at them and then they will lure them and give them money and do this thing. Before you know it, it's become a full-blown thing. So this is sex in the temple. We are not only scratching the surface, we're going deep. And we say, we're going to go deeper. I'm going to deeper. Deeper. Monique, this is sex in the temple. Thank you. I love you.